What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your weekend astrology forecast for the weekend of March 26th and the 27th of 2022. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. I appreciate you all so much. I hope you had a great week. It is still Friday as I'm doing this live, but I'm trying to get some things done early and get into that weekend flow a little early, which is not very Capricorn moon of me, but I'm deep in the 12th house right now. I'm tired. I don't know what to tell you guys. Hope you're all doing well, though. And I'm excited to look at the charts for this weekend. And I might show you some other stuff, too, because I got to start, putting some warnings out. I got to start putting this out, because there's so much coming this year. There's so much coming this year that, when I'm saying this Aries season stuff and go for it and these ambitions, it's important. So I want to show you some things into the future, some big things, mainly some eclipse stuff. It's in Uranus, 15 degrees. That's been on my radar for a long time, and it happens with a Jupiter coming into that 0 Aries point and making that semi-square. So it's a big deal. So I'm going to talk about that more, but let's get into the weekend first. Just want to throw that out there. Give you guys something to watch this weekend. Saturday, Sun is at 6 degrees of Aries. That is Libra degree in Aries. So this is identifying with the right relationships. It's interesting. I can't not see relationship stuff when I look at the chart right now. Venus, Juno, Saturn. There's a lot about committing ourselves to the right relationships. Straight up with people. People are so important right now. It can be romantic. It can be friendships. We got to be on the proper alignment here. Life is a roller coaster. It's all over the place right now, but we got to find people that are going through the ups and the downs of life in a similar fashion, or at least have each other's back. There's a win-win. We also need to be objective and not just so in our own mind about things. We need to look at the broader picture, look at the bigger things, be objective and be oh, okay, I see your side, I can roll with that, or I don't see your side, and I got to identify with where the beauty and the balance and harmony is in my life. This is also the last full day that we're going to see Mercury in Pisces on Saturday. So on Sunday, Mercury's ingressing into Aries. Thank God, because this is our head is so far in, you can say, in the clouds, in the ocean. We're just out there. It's hard to stay focused, and I think this moon in Capricorn's trying to get focus into our life. It's trying to get some determination, some let's get some things done, especially with a sun in Aries. Aries and Capricorn get along great, even though they're in square to each other and they're cardinal. They get along well when they get shit done. When they're doing what they want and they're pursuing dreams and they're going after goals, that's a good square, So squares aren't always a bad thing. It's just how the energy works together. And I think we have to be working together with the things in life that are beautiful, the things in life that are connected, and the people, and relationship energy. And I think money aspects are going to start coming up more and more and more. I would not be surprised if by April 12th, when Jupiter and Neptune meet, we see the highest gas price we could have ever imagined. Now, I've been talking about gas prices. I have a receipt that's on my Instagram of me talking about gas prices last August or September. Yeah, people were gas prices are crazy. They were $3 a gallon. I was gas price is going to go way up. And it already is, but we haven't seen nothing yet. And that's Pisces and Jupiter, Neptune. It always deals with gas and oil, and yeah, Jupiter's blowing all these things up. So I'll talk about more blowing up, but this Mercury, especially within our mind and our communication element of life, we are definitely out there. We could be, and out there is good. We could be dreamy. There could be a lot of creative vision, but this is that final day, and that Mercury's also going to make the sextile over to the moon and Pluto at 28 degrees as well on this Saturday. So moon Pluto is another one to definitely pay attention to this Saturday. Talk about bringing up a lot of depth of emotion here, and trying to find what makes us feel secure in life, trying to make us really feel what we're driven towards. It's we can't hide things. Things got to come out if they need to come out, or if they need to come out with people. This Saturn Venus is very balsamic. which is going to meet up on Monday. So it's like, we're seeing certain aspects of where we're committing ourselves to people or money or value. And we're trying to see, like, does it really align with our deeper soul urge right now and our own sort of soul destiny? And I think that Saturday is like a big day to see, like, if all the parts are fitting together, right? Like, it's like all this Aquarius energy can feel like a really fucking messed up puzzle. Like, life is a really complicated puzzle. It's like a fucking 10,000 piece crazy mosaic puzzle. And we're all like, I don't know. I think this goes here. Does this go here? Like, let me experiment and try. We're kind of at that place right now. So we're trying to see where puzzle pieces fit. And I think we're like seeing if we got the frame at least of the puzzle like put together so that we can start hacking away at the interior and it's not like completely impossible. And we have like some starting points. So it's not about having everything figured out, of course, but it's definitely about seeing where we're in alignment with where things are put together. And if they match up with destiny, if they match up with our deeper like soul kind of pursuit of life or happiness or identity or, a lot of these things that we're looking for that are in alignment or beautiful with a head kind of in the clouds. But also I think with the good alignment with Mercury, with the sextile, it's like, let's see if let's just try and see if this fits. Oh, doesn't fit, not in alignment. Okay. I'm not going to sit there and stress and get neurotic and freak out or get into some chaotic frenzy this weekend because something isn't working. It's like something's not working because it's not meant to work. It doesn't fit. It's not connected. So that's what I think about that. The moon also does make good aspects to the nodes on Saturday with a trine to the north node, sextile to the south node. So, and that like starts off the Saturday energy. Also with the sextile over to Neptune, and Neptune making good aspects to these nodes with the opposite, sextile to the north node, trine to the south. Like, there are some pretty amazing things that I think we can channel into what we're trying to create right now. It just takes confidence. It takes knowing you got it. It takes a little bit of grit. It takes some determination. It takes some can-do. And I think it takes a belief in yourself and a trust and a faith in, of course, God, of course, the universe, whatever the Most High is to you. But in the end, like that Most High that we look up to or pray to, I mean, it's within. So, right, like it is so within, so without. So we got to come back to ourself in Aries season with a North Node in Taurus and realize that we got this and have faith in ourselves, have compassion, have love, have empathy for others, but always most importantly yourself. And that's what the North Node in Taurus is trying to teach us too, is to like, let's stop carrying the intensity and the emotion that we obsess over that isn't good for us or that we're just like fixated on. Like, let's fixate on the beauty of life and ourselves that we can start manifesting and dedicating to. And by letting something out and having this big emotional reveal with the moon on Pluto, it's like that might be just what we need to show ourselves some love and not suppress the emotion, but to, feel it and dedicate to it and kind of like move forward from it and start committing to the things in life that we're ultimately connected to. Where are we pouring the concrete in our life when it comes to money, people, all of that stuff? Saturn's starting to square these nodes. We are in a collective karmic state of change, of fixed energy too. Right? Because it's a fixed T-square that all this energy is coming into right now. And Mars is right behind that, of course. So it's our deep embedded sense of security. It's our deep emotional need to merge with some power outside of self with Scorpio. It's our deep emotional need to ground in ourself and our sturdiness and our capabilities and to, kind of slowly create something without, just jumping the gun and making it happen right away. Taurus is slow. That's why Mars doesn't like to be in Taurus. It's Venus. It's just beautiful. It's learning how to receive by learning. It's like creation through learning to receive as well. Like receiving love from self to create outside of self. And the pressure, of course, is on Aquarius, which is the people in our life, the connectivity, the frequency that we emit from ourselves, from our deep emotional bedding, from our outer self, from our beauty, from our appearance, even with Taurus, and the confidence and the self-worth to create and connect and find the pieces in life that fit, and to be objective through all of it. So there is this high need to be objective, and Saturn is government, it is rule, it is society, and with Pluto being in Capricorn, which is the dispositor, Saturn's the dispositor of that Pluto. Also, the South Node in Scorpio is disposited by Pluto. Like, there's huge emphasis on Capricorn, on Saturn. Meaning that this is, and especially with Venus and Juno, like, I talked about the personal stuff, but when we look at like a collective level and a world level, like, this is government stuff. This is societal stuff. Now, that's different for every culture. We all are born into a different Saturnian environment, whether you're in America, where I am, or Canada, or Ukraine, or Russia. Like, everybody has India, everybody has a different society that they're embedded into that, is the program of the outer world that they have to operate in. So this is where Saturn in Aquarius is very strange, and it's tweaking all the little buttons and hitting all the little things in the spaceship in Aquarius, and it's like, where's this going to go? So the relationship to where we think governments and politics and these societal structures are going to go is at a very intense point karmically of rebirth. Pluto finishing in Capricorn. And it's like, how well can we be objective, and how well can we detach from what we thought everything was going to look like, from the society, or what we thought things looked like, or what we thought they were? Because it comes back here too, to the Pisces energy of Neptune and Jupiter. We're in a great movie. This is the craziest, weirdest movie you could ever think of. Like, script writers couldn't even write this movie of life that we're living right now. It's wild. So we're in a giant movie, and it's going to keep playing a very interesting thing, but there's an undercurrent going on that's going to start getting exposed. And maybe we see some exposure this weekend within ourselves, and eventually, I think very soon, within the next, honestly, I would say within 6 months, 7 months, we're going to start to see some of the craziest, like, societal changes. Because Saturn's going to be squaring the nodes for a while. Like, it's not going to be exact like it will be coming up here in the next couple weeks, but it's still in this spot. And Venus and Mars are going to square. It's like, it comes back to our values, relationships. And there's something about being objective with Aquarius and finding new and better ways to move into a future, to kind of like, because Aquarius, for being a fixed sign, isn't like the most fixed of the signs. Like, yeah, it's fixed intellect and air, but Aquarius is like fixed. It's like fixated on fixing things. It's like, no, tweaked on this for a little bit. Like, I definitely spent my time getting in here and trying to figure it out, but that's not going to work. That's the wrong equation. These buttons, they don't align. So I'm going to trip this switch over here and move it over here. And then all of a sudden, full connection, and boom, this going where we need to go. Like, actual, like, spaceship is moving now. So, I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's how I see it in my mind, is that we're starting to see the tinkering of the governments, and where they thought they could fix things or tweak things to a place, and they're trying to patch it up with stories that are going on, and we're about to see sort of reveals of that coming up. And right now, in personal life situations, to me, this is finding the right tribe energy, this is finding the right connective forces, and especially the connective force within you to know you got this, to know that you are an individual and part of a collective, and that the more individuals come together in the collective, the more power those individuals have. And that's all this Aquarius energy too. Because we're at the point now where we're starting to see Declaration of Independence stuff from 1776. And that whole story getting rewritten as Pluto's going to go retrograde in a month and work its way back to 26, but it is going to have that exact Pluto return, because Pluto return for America is at 27, I think 31 minutes of Capricorn, but retrograde. And that'll be July 10th. So, or July 12th, one of the two. So, see what I'm saying? Like, things are about to look a lot different in society. So, don't trip on the show right now. Commit to the connective life force of life that feels aligned with you and beautiful and something that you want to start creating and dedicating to. And with all the Aquarius in the chart, it doesn't have to look like the program you've been running your whole life. Most of you who watch this channel already ditched that program a long time ago. But Capricorn's always going to be a thing. It's just we don't know what that next structure is going to look like yet because it's getting blown up by Pluto. So, yeah. All right. Went kind of deep on Saturday. Sunday is the 7th degree, which is a Piscean degree. It is Neptune. It is very spiritual. It is almost like a kind of a rest day. I feel like this is like take care of yourself spiritually on Sunday. Tap in on Sunday. Do the things that make you feel very in alignment and connected with your body, your mind, your soul, all of that. Because guess what? Mercury's in Aries. Hallelujah. This is definitely giving us a powerful outlook now. It's almost like our mind's getting rebirthed back into self. It's like, whoa, we were just way far away from self, and now we're right back into self, right back into having this strong mind, having a strong voice, communication, being able to define things. So by Sunday, we're actually at a very powerful point with all the planets moving fast and direct. Look at that. Fast. Venus is over a degree now. Almost a degree, 2 minutes as I ran this chart. So, this is definitely time to start moving, but I think it's like, okay, Sunday, tap into your channel, tap into your identity, the I am presence that you are, and start to understand these things. And as the moon is now in Aquarius, which it does come into on Saturday, it's like, let's detach a little bit emotionally. Let's not be super, committed. I don't want to say committed, but let's not be super attached anywhere emotionally. Let's kind of peel back, be objective, be emotionally intelligent so we can start to figure out where this channel is taking us. So we can start to figure out what we really want to identify with. What was the messages? Because Mercury's the messenger. It's just crossed over Pluto where it retrograded, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune. Like, guess what? Mercury went through a trip through Aquarius and Pisces and even Capricorn with Pluto, but Mercury got the messages. It figured out the deep desires. It figured out the identity in a different, unique way. It got the message from Saturn. It got what's the general telling us, like, in our life? What's the greatest connective forces? It got the message from the guru. How can we expand more? How can we grow? And it got the messages from Spirit, from Neptune. And these can all be wild, crazy things that we have to process in our own lives, but we got the message now, and now we can identify and kind of break these things down in a much more simple way. Aries is simple. And I don't mean if you're an Aries out there that you're simple. That's not what I'm saying, but it's simple. It's I am, it's I'm defining. It's like David would say, it's a noun. So it's time to do. Noun is I do. So create, run, identify, make things happen. And I think that Sunday's like maybe a rest day, but it's also where things become much more clear than they've been, especially if you can detach from a lot of the stuff in the world and get back to your personal life, but in a more connected facet. And with Venus going to meet with Juno and Saturn and Juno connecting, there's really positive relationship stuff out there. I really like Venus and Saturn together. I think when you that's like the glue in life. That's like what really bonds people together is Saturn. Especially in relationship astrology, if you have Venus, Saturn stuff going on with another person, this, it's good. Saturn's positive in relationship astrology. So that's why I like it with Venus. And that's why I think Venus doesn't hate being in Saturn's houses. It's not fall or detriment in Capricorn or Aquarius, because we have to commit. We have to show up for other people. We have to show up for ourselves. We have to show up for how we manifest. So this is where we're really finding where we show up for the most connective forces, for the most coming back to individual and then finding other people on that similar wave. And it's like, it's good. So I like that a lot. But it's also where we're going to start to see like, this isn't connecting. This doesn't make sense. And it's like, then you have to make the grown-up decisions with Saturn and be like, I have to disconnect emotionally and kind of put my foot down, and I'm not going to keep creating things in life with aspects that have no connective force any longer. Now, whether it's a job or whether it's just things that we do on a daily basis that bring us, well, they're supposed to bring us comfort with Venus, but everything's a little weird right now. It's like, what actually do you want? What actually is comfortable? And the moon's also going to square over to Uranus. And it's like a little shocking. It's kind of like, gosh, I just want to channel. And honestly, I think this day is great for like channeling where your future can go. It's like the moon can definitely get shocked by Uranus. Like, nope, this is the wrong piece. You've been trying to put it over here. It clearly goes way up here on the puzzle. But it's like we can be stubborn too with fixed energy, and there's a lot of fixed energy in the chart, of course, right now. It's like, and the Aries energy, I want to identify with this in life only, and get all aggro. But it's like, step back for a second. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. Like, take the hint, take the insight that's coming, and like, make a pivot, make a change. Aquarius rules the wrists and the ankles. It's like pivots and weird, like, you know what I'm saying? So I think this weekend too, we got to get ready for some of those sort of pivots in life. And then the moon will meet with Mars in the evening. So I would say that no one's going to get much sleep Sunday night. You'll probably be wide awake, wired. Like, that's definitely a lot of energy in our personal life, and definitely some, maybe bringing some of that identification that we're looking for into our emotional field, and like more of an intelligence, an emotional intelligence of what we need and what we're trying to go after. The moon also makes a sextile to the sun and to Chiron. So it's definitely not like, I don't want to say it's bad. It's exciting. It's like there can be a lot of excitement, and we can be overstimulated both mentally. Like, it's very interesting having Mercury come into Aries, Mars ruled, and then having a moon on Mars. Like, I feel like by the end of Sunday, we're going to be pretty wired. And hopefully it's wired in like a very like, I'm going to start doing this. I know this is going to build something great in my life. I've gotten the hints, and I'm not going to be scared to try. I'm not going to, let fear hold me back. Like, if fears show up in life, they're a great motivator. So use fear for motivation to start transcending the shit in life that you don't want to be a part of, and to get into the dream of life that you do. So, what do we got here? I did pull up Astro Gold. Let me move my face here. So we can see Z chart. This isn't on the iPad, so I'm not going to draw on it. But I just want to show, like, these eclipses, they blow my mind. And I've talked a little bit about them, of course, in the past. But, like, the solar eclipse on April 30th in Taurus is, like, a big deal. 10 degrees. It's crazy because Uranus is going to be at 14 degrees, 32 minutes, and Jupiter is getting really, really, really close to coming into Aries. So I feel like this is definitely going to bring up, it's getting very explosive, like very explosive. Like, it just has explosion written all over it. When Uranus hit the 0 Aries point, it was Fukushima. So now we're having Jupiter cross over that same spot, and Jupiter's an expander, and Uranus is going to be happening to semi-square that same spot, like right at the same time. Like, you can't make this stuff up. And I think that this is heavily going to deal with finances in Taurus. It's like we're already seeing some weird financial stuff. So finances is looking like, okay, what is the value going to be like? Pluto's already retrograde at this point. So we're now Pluto's really coming back for the Pluto return in July. And Saturn is done with the square to the nodes, but Saturn at this point is getting ready to station 2 at 25 degrees. So Saturn's slowing down big time as well. And the nodes are pulling off, and it's done with that. But it's just like with Pluto finishing up at Capricorn and solar eclipses going on in the financial axis of Taurus and Scorpio, and with Uranus, like something's going on. And then it's after the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction. So hopefully we do get some more clarity in the show, but that probably won't come until later, because after this is a lunar eclipse in Scorpio, and it's like, okay, how much more hidden stuff is out there? And trying to figure out that situation. But this is starting to get intense, and solar eclipses are extremely intense. It's a new slide. So we haven't had this Saros cycle and this eclipse in 18 years with the North Node there. Which, 18 years ago? Like, this one? Nope, this one. Wow. Did we actually skip? Oh my gosh. That's exciting, actually, if we did. Let's see if I can find the one I'm looking for, because I'm not seeing it. Yeah, the eclipse was at 29 Aries. Wow. So even we skipped this one last time. That's kind of crazy. So that's how actually big of a deal this is. So this would go back even to 288 would be, 18 years? 10 would be 94. 20 would be, so 86. So these eclipses are just not, they're really not ones to play with, in my opinion. Especially when we're dealing with money, Taurus, self-worth, value. But it's even, it's definitely getting good aspects to Mars. Mars is going to be in sextile to that. It's with Eros, so it is finding these commitments through kind of shaking up reality, finding the right people, the right identification, the right connection. But Mars-Neptune is not easy. I'm sorry, Venus-Neptune is not bad, but it's also very rare to get Venus, Jupiter, and Neptune all in Pisces together. Like it's crazy enough that we're seeing Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces. We haven't seen that since 1856. Having all three of the strongest energies in Pisces, like that's crazy. It's beautiful. It can be the most enlightening time of like finding value in compassion, in spirituality, in love. But it's also, there's no boundaries. So it's like anything goes with money. Anything goes. And anything that we see, do we really know? I don't think we do. So that's why it's hard. I can't give you like financial advice on what to do. I have no idea. I don't. And, I'm sure there's some other channel out there that's giving financial advice this year for like what's going on with money and what to do. But I don't know what to tell you guys, because everything's going to be such an illusion at first. And it's like it's going to cause chaos, and it's going to be very strange. So we're coming into a very strange time, a very intense time dealing with money and finance. This eclipse doesn't, like it says it's up here, but it's just a partial. I looked at where it's going to hit. It's like in the Atlantic Ocean down by Antarctica. So I don't think it's going to necessarily affect any one spot particularly. It's the solar eclipse coming in October on the 25th that is in Russia, Ukraine, and Europe. So that's what I'm saying. This is like the start. So like this next month of April and like finishing up March, like this is it. Like make things happen, get seeds growing. Taurus is definitely like trying to grow something. It's like Empress energy. And this is going to be, we're stepping into a whole new sort of system of value. And, Jupiter and Venus conjunct is pretty amazing because it's either going to feel like something's too good to be true that's being projected, and we're going to get the rug pulled out from under us at some point. Because remember, Jupiter's going to come into Aries and retrograde at 8 degrees and then come back in July, it's going to come back to 28 Pisces. So just having Jupiter come into Aries and then leave is going to feel like whoop, rug pulled out. It's going to be crazy. Like, remember when Jupiter ingressed into Pisces last year and everybody's like, "Oh, we're good. Everything's fine. Don't worry. There's people are lifting mandates and no. And then all of a sudden Jupiter came back into Aquarius and it was like, psych. It's like that again, but even more intense. Because it's like it goes to the 0 point to 359 degrees. It's like, what? So that's very strange. But there's something too about this surrender with these 3 planets in Pisces. Like not tripping, seeing the beauty in the chaos, finding your self-worth, finding your value, that you're gonna pull through. You're going to be fine. Like, I'm not trying to trip people out by saying this stuff. I'm literally saying, like, this is where, especially at 10 degrees, that is like a master step degree in Christopher Witecki's step astrology of Taurus. And it's with Uranus. Like, you're going to start manifesting things like you've never believed before, but you have to have a vision. You have to have that grit, and you have to want to keep going amidst whatever this world is projecting. And to not fall for it. And even Mars in Pisces is like, la 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 la, like heading towards Neptune. Mars in Pisces can be really lazy, but it can also be great. Like a good example is like LeBron has Mars in Pisces. He's a great basketball player. I don't like LeBron personally, but he can play with a basketball. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's something about this Mars that's like you can put your creative energy and your artistic energy into anything that you want. There's no boundaries, and you can identify with that, but you have to pick something. And you have to grow something and create something because the world is going to try and make a crazy shift right now to probably get people to be really too scared to create on their own. And then I'm in solar eclipses. But this is the next solar eclipse on October 25th. This one's with the South Node. This one's at 2 degrees of Scorpio. And it's like, it's insane. And Mars is just 5 degrees away from retrograding in Gemini. Mars is going to retrograde October 30th in Gemini. And that's also the United States' Mars return. And Pluto's coming back for the final pass of America's Pluto and heading towards Aquarius. So Pluto's going to start finishing up Capricorn and get ready to, next year, come into Aquarius where it will retrograde back into Capricorn. But still, we're getting a taste of what this government and the control and all of that looks like. And that's where we're going to start to see a lot of manipulation, a lot of illusions. And it's crazy that Jupiter is going to be at 0 of Aries again for this eclipse in a quincunx to it. Like I said, the solar eclipse is showing it's covering over northern Europe and Russia, Ukraine, all that's going on over there. So whatever happens between now and October, it's likely a huge show. And whatever the real thing that goes down is probably over here. But if I go back just to this previous solar eclipse, and then go forward to when Jupiter comes into Aries, Uranus is going to be at 15 degrees, semi-square that Jupiter. This has got just blow up. Something's going to blow up. Now, part of me thinks that's like, and Sun North Node, like part of me and that North Node's at 22 degrees where Jupiter and Saturn met in 2000, the Jupiter-Saturn cycle, previous one to what we just had in Aquarius, and it's in sextile, or it's in trine to where Pluto-Saturn met on January 12th of 2020. So there's something about everything that we've gone through over the last 2 years coming to this explosive moment, and Mars will be getting really close to Neptune, and we can feel like we're extremely lethargic, but we also have this Venus in Aries, which is like, gotta go create things, gotta go make shit happen. And the Sun in Taurus definitely wants to create too, but that Fukushima, that 0 point and all that, like that, and all the nuclear talk that's going on in the world right now, like I would not be surprised if there's some, and I'm going to be honest with you, I think it'd probably be a fake nuclear attack. It'd probably be old footage. Like we're still dealing with too much illusion stuff. And I know people might think that's crazy, but, and it might actually happen, but I don't know. We have to dig deep right now because there's too much control and power manipulating people's emotion. And I think Saturn square the nodes in Aquarius is like, we have got to be smarter as a collective and start being more objective and detached from the emotion. Because remember, there is not a drop of emotion in Aquarius. It's fixed air. It just has to be smart and on it. And we're going to be in a Mercury retrograde too. Mercury goes retrograde right after that eclipse on May 10th. The same day that Jupiter comes into Aries. Just to add to confusion, although it's a Mercury retrograde in its home sign of Gemini, so it's like, God, we better figure some things out here. We better go inside here, detach, and not pay attention to this huge illusion. Get real smart. The moon will be in opposition to Saturn. Yeah, it's a lot. But this next one's a big deal too at 2 degrees of Scorpio on the 25th, and then Mars is about to station on the 30th. 30th. Okay, it is the 30th, but it's later in the day. But boom, Mars retrograde in Gemini. So this is kind of scraping our mind clear and the way we identify with how we thought about all these systems. Moon on Pluto. I'm just being real. And then Jupiter pulled the rug out from underneath us. And it's like, we better have a sharp mind. We better have our identity figured out and know who we are at this point and how to create. North Node will be with Uranus, saying the creation is only going to happen if you do something different right now and don't follow the old way. And if you're staying in some old societal value system, you think Uranus does things the same as everybody else? No. So that's where we want to go. But that's crazy change, radical change. And I'll pull up the next lunar eclipse too, because it's a trip. It's at 25 degrees of Scorpio and 25 Taurus, which is making great aspects to this Pluto, which is retrograde at this time. So Pluto is about to go retrograde really soon here. Pluto goes retrograde April 29th. It goes retrograde a day before the solar eclipse. Good to know. I wasn't paying attention to that. Wow. So not only, that's a lot of inertia switching gears for a solar eclipse. It's big. And then, of course, right after that, 2 weeks, we get a lunar eclipse, a full lunar eclipse. Look at 3-degree orb to the south node and the north node with Eros. So Eros is playing a big part too, and that is this passionate, connective force about creation, making good aspects to Pluto and like transforming our life right now and building new structures and not getting suckered in to the emotion of chaos or the emotion of death even. It's insane. This is an intense lunar eclipse. Mars will be with Neptune and Jupiter will be in Aries. Semi-square Uranus, exact. So there's a lot of crazy things coming, and a lot of and Sun-Saturn square. We got to start dedicating to the right things in life right now and putting those puzzle pieces together. And that's where things are going to get good. And I think this is such a powerful time. Like, I think we're so lucky because this is changing the way we operate in this collective and in this society and in our own world. So, like, Saturn does rule this physical realm, and there's so much change going on with Capricorn and Saturn square the nodes. There's new, better ways to live life right now and create that life. But you have to know your worth and your value and who you are, and you'll figure it out and have the right people in your corner that are doing the same thing. It's definitely not time to obsess with a South Node in Scorpio and a lunar eclipse coming in Scorpio over what other people are doing. It's just, are you on the same page? Are you building the same puzzle? Are you working on the same shit? Yep, check, perfect. And that's a hard one because that goes into families, that goes into marriages, that goes into relationships, that goes into a lot of different things. But with where everything looks like it's going over the next couple years here, do you really have the time and energy to pull someone up this last bit of Capricorn with you? And I'm sure some people do, but it's hard. So there's big decisions that have to be made, and that's where we're at. I just putting the warnings out there. We're going to see something's blowing up. It might be the government that we know. Something big could come out with the Saturn stuff. It might be actual nuclear. Wouldn't surprise me if it was both tied together. But, oh yeah, like, I would be shocked if we go through May 15th or even into June without seeing something in this physical world blow up. Don't be scared of that shit, though. And people are going to think that's a crazy thing to say, and maybe it is. But there's something about life right now with a South Node in Scorpio that fear is not going to get you anywhere. It's a big illusion, and it's keeping you trapped in a system as Pluto finishes here in Capricorn that is decaying and dying. Card for the weekend is the Eight of Cups in reverse. Not wanting to walk away from things when we know we should this weekend, or feeling like all our goals and ambitions don't matter right now, when this is the time to really focus on those things. And I think the only person that has authority, or the only authority in life that can throw your goals away, is you. And you got to stop letting other things outside of you dictate whether you can or can't, and just can. The High Priestess. Yeah, there's some hidden stuff going on all over the world right now. But, in our own personal lives, it's important that we're not getting duped right now. I think we need to be into our intuition and psychically attuned, but at the same time, like, we got to pay attention and make sure we're not duping ourselves into some illusion, or, or tricking ourselves into some story right now it's like Snow White. I don't know if you saw, but David broke that down. But I watched Snow White last weekend in Havasu, and the evil queen is totally the High Priestess, and it makes a lot of sense because it's about a spell. So there's There's things we spell ourselves into that are throwing away our own goals and ambitions because we're not willing to emotionally detach enough to let go. And this weekend we got to emotionally let go so that we can create magic with this card and start to use that magic ball of life and creative force that we do have. And the Nine of Pentacles reversed. I think we just got to make changes in life to have all the things we want. Like, they're still there for the taking, but it's like you got to let some things go if you want like the really, really good things. It's not about all the good things right now. It's about the things that really matter the most. And the Page of Swords. We got to, keep our mind flexible and be able to communicate well right now and be curious and look out. Like, look at what's going on and be objective. And I think you'll see through it. It's not like this stuff's that hard. It's just everything's getting pulled on people's emotions right now. So I think that's something beautiful about this weekend with the moon in Aquarius is like, just detach emotionally and you'll see through anything that shows up that's trying to trick you or manipulate you or spell you from your ultimate creative force of creating a life that is abundant for the things that are the most important to you. It's not about everything. It's about the most important things. I love you all very much. Hope you enjoyed this long 46-minute weekend horoscope, but I don't know. I was feeling like I just want to go for it. So I appreciate you. Have a great weekend. I'll see you for the weekly forecast, weekly tarot, and Monday's horoscope Sunday night. Love you all. Bye. Oh, man. Got to click on different screens here. And bye-bye.